attention, all right? You're going to enjoy this, I hope. I don't know if I told you this yet or not, but I also have an English major. I'm certified to teach English and math.
Really?
So there's a part of me, I actually started out as a straight English major. So there's a part of me that still loves language and reading and those kinds of things. I'm also a firm believer in writing across the curriculum. I don't believe you only write in English class. So once a semester, you will write an essay for me. Now, before you start freaking out, I want you to listen how easy this is. This is going to be the easiest 20 points you're going to get all year in pre-cal, or at least this semester. Next semester, you'll get a chance to get. Here's what you need to do. First of all, it is due November 18th. All right, now folks, what's today?
October 7th.
All right, we got plenty of notice, right? This isn't something I'm dropping on you the day before. Now, you may choose to do it the day before, but that's your choice. It's due November 18th. If you get so inclined and decide, I'm going to crank this out this weekend, you can turn it into me on Monday. You can turn it at any time up to November 18th. Okay? Just like everything else, it's due November 18th, whether we have class or not. I have no idea if I physically see you on the 18th. If I don't, it doesn't matter. You're going to bring that paper in and turn it in that day. Any essay that's late is automatically 10 points off. So it's a 20-point assignment. The most you can get if you turn it in 1 minute late is 10. You've got plenty of notice. There's no excuse for being late. Right? I hope I get some on Monday. Because here's the requirements. Mla Format, everybody in here is a senior, you know exactly what I'm talking about. A minimum of 1 page. So I am asking you to write 1 page minimum. Do not try to fool me with 18 font. I'm not a goofball idiot. You know what you're supposed to be doing. Pretend I'm your English teacher and turn it in like you would in English class. Okay? Here is the prompt, as they call it. I call this the Thanksgiving essay. The other one we do will be during Lent. This Thanksgiving essay, I want you to write about something, some quality that you possess that you are thankful for. Now, I don't want an essay about, I am thankful for my mom. She's the greatest person on the earth. That's probably true. But this is an essay about a quality that you have. So maybe you are a good listener. So you will say, I'm proud of myself because I'm a good listener. And here are the examples. Here is when I have been a good listener. I'm proud of myself because I'm a great big brother. Here are some examples of how I've been a great big brother. That's what I'm talking about. It's your chance to brag about yourselves. Okay? I want to read that. I read every one carefully. I mark them up with comments. Almost everybody gets a 20 out of 20. How can I mark it wrong? Well, if you don't follow directions, you're going to lose points. If it's late, obviously you lose points. If you don't, if you have a ton of spelling errors, punctuation errors, that kind of stuff, you're going to lose some points for that. Now, if you've left 1 comma out, okay, that's fine. But if you've left 5 commas out, or you use text talk in your paper, you're going to let it marked off for that. This is a formal paper just like you do for English class, but it's 1 page or more, right? Sometimes I get them in there 3 or 4 pages. That is fine, no penalty for that.
Is it double spaced?
Of course it's double spaced, that's Mla Format.
If we turn it down on Monday, will it go first quarter?
No, this is a 2nd quarter grade, okay? Now, what I will do is I try to grade them as they come in, because all my students are turning in a paper, and that's a lot of grading. So as they come in, I grade them and post them. So you'll see the grade, but it will be the next quarter, okay? No, this is a 2nd quarter assignment. Anybody else have any questions about it? Are we clear? I'll probably not talk about it anymore. I posted it in Schoology may not talk about it again. So you need to remember, you owe me that paper on, what's the due date? November 18th. When will Mrs. Ford start accepting them? Monday, right? As soon as you want to get it done. Bring it to open gym on Sunday, I don't care. Get it done as soon as you want to, have time to. All right? And it should be easy, because it's about you and how good you are. All right. Speaking of good, we have some great fun to do.
Yeah.
So get your note sheets out right here. You'll recall we have one problem left on the front page. These are a little bit tricky. You've done it before, last year, but it is a little complicated. I understand that. So we're going to go through it again, give it our best shot. So number one, or B, we're doing 4B. Now, hopefully you wrote down what we did yesterday. So can anybody tell me how I should get started? Move the 10 over. Very good. Move the 10 over. Now, Marley?
I have a question. Would you be able to divide by 2 before you move the 10 over?
Yes. Good question. You have to do both of those things, okay? Because you cannot complete the square if there's a 2 there. Look at the example we did yesterday, letter A. Do you see what's in front of that x squared? What's in front of that x squared? A 1. We were good to go. As soon as I put a 2 in front of the x squared, I have to do what Marley suggested. I have to divide by 2. Here's the part I want you to remember though, Marley. You divide everything by 2, including the y. Okay? Ethan, I probably have your paper right there. All right. Okay. So we have y over 2 minus 5 equals x squared minus 4x. Now please do not even worry yourself with this fraction. We're going to take care of it. But right now, we have to have it. So far, first 2 steps. Move the 10 over and divide everything by 2. Like Marley said, you can do that in either order. So if you want to divide by 2 first, no problem. But you have to do both things. Move the number, divide by the coefficient. Now we are going to complete the square. In other words, we are going to add something to both sides that will make this a perfect square. That's our goal. That right there has to be a perfect square. So who remembers how to find what we add to both sides, Hannah?
You take C, or 4B, yeah, and then you divide it by 2.
Yep, exactly. So we take this number right here. Does everybody see where I'm pointing? That number right there, and we divide it by 2. And then we square it. Every time, never changes. Divide by 2 and square. So what's negative 4 divided by 2? Negative 2 squared is 4. So I'm going to add 4 to both sides. Now the purpose, like I said, was to make this a square. Okay? So what square would that be? Exactly. It's minus 2 minus 2, so it's x minus 2 squared. And over here, I have y over 2 minus 1, because I can add those together. Okay, so what do you think we might do next now? Everything is done. I just need to get the equation back in shape. So I got to get y by itself. So what do you suggest I do if I need to get y back by itself, like it was in the beginning? Add the 1. I'll add the 1 back over. So I have y over 2 equals x minus 2 squared plus 1. Is it starting to look familiar? The format, the style? Now what do I need to do? Multiply by 2. Now, when you multiply by 2, I want you to multiply the parentheses, but not what's in it. You put a 2 out in front of the parentheses, but don't touch what's in it. We're not distributing. And then multiply that by 2, so it would be plus 2. So I times by 2. I times this by 2, this by 2, this by 2. Vertex, axis of symmetry, direction of opening. Here we go. Where's the vertex? How has this parabola been moved, Robbie?
2 and 2.
2 and 2. Now the reason I said you kids that were absent yesterday could do that problem, it looked like this, was because you are supposed to already know what happens when you subtract 2 in the parentheses. It moves you 2 units to the right, and then up 2. So if you moved 2 units to the right and up 2, your vertex would be at 2, 2. If the vertex is at 2, 2, then the axis of symmetry is x equals 2, that 2 right there. And which way does this open? Your choices are up or down. Up. The only way a parabola will open down is if you put a negative in front of it, right? That's what turns it upside down. You didn't. So we're done. Okay? All right, let's turn the page. I know it's Friday afternoon, but you know what? We are blessed. Because if you're going to end your week in a class, aren't you glad it's math?
For sure.
Yeah. It just kind of sets the tone. Gonna have a great Friday because we're finishing up with math. You're probably all just happy because you don't have math on Monday then. I'm not happy about that. All right, so here we go. Let's look at this one. What a mess. C spectrum. You got an idea?
Would you add 23rds?
She says, would you add 23rds? Do we need to do that? Yep. So I'm going to add 23rds. Good move, Colleen. As a user, what do you think might be a good thing to do next? Somebody help her? Morgan? Multiply by 3. Kids, remember, before you can start the completing the square process, this number has to be moved, and that coefficient has to be gotten rid of. So Morgan said, look, since it's a 1/3, if I want to get rid of it, I will just times everything by 3. Will that get rid of the 1/3? Yes. So what do I have? I have 3y plus 20. Now as I'm grading your test, some of you are screwing up this kind of arithmetic. If you have 23rds and you're timesing it by 3, that's 3 over 1. Doesn't it leave us with just 20? Remember, when you multiply by a number, the number's over 1. And you do top times top, bottom times bottom. All right, so this equals what? Those are going to cancel, so I have x squared plus 4x. Look how nice that is. All right, Maddie Pritchard, we're now ready to complete the square. Everything's done. I'm ready to go. So I'm going to add something to both sides. Can you tell me how to figure that out, Maddie? How do I figure out what I'm going to add to both sides?
You divide 4 by 2.
right here, this number right here. So I take that and divide it by 2, and then I square it. Well, this looks like the last one. What's 4 divided by 2? 2 squared is 4. So I'm going to add 4 to both sides again. This time, this square will be what? Now watch it. It's going to be what? X plus 2. That sign will always match this one. Always. And over here I have 3y plus 24. Austin, what do I do next? Do you have any thoughts on that? Remember, this is what I want my equation to look like. So I need to get y by itself. So what do you think I might do to get y by itself? Subtract 24? Yeah, that's right. Remember, I'm old, you gotta speak up a little bit. So I have 3y equal to x plus 2 squared minus 24. One more. Divide everything by 3. Now remember, when you divide by 3, you're dividing the parentheses by 3, but not what's in it. Okay? So that's going to be written as y equals 1/3 x plus 2 squared minus 8. Dividing by 3 is the same as multiplying by 1/3. Does that make sense to you? And we don't normally see our parabolas with this divided by 3. We normally see it with a number out in front. So we'll just move that out here and say 1/3. Vertex. Think about how this is moving. -2, -8. Axis of symmetry. X equals -2 and direction of opening. Oh, wouldn't it be up? Yeah. When is it down? If the 1/3 had been negative, that will be a down. What do you think? You okay? All right, let's see if we can do the next one. Looks very complicated. Let's walk through it. Then I'm going to give you a chance to practice on your own, okay? But let's look at this one. All right, so let's see if you can do this without my help. Raise your hand if you have a thought about how to start, and I'll let you start it. Okay, Marley?
Multiply everything by 2.
Marley says right from the get-go she's going to multiply everything, I think, Marley, by -2, because I need that to be claim 1. So Marley says I'm going to multiply everything right now by -2. All right, now be careful. Let's not make crazy mistakes. Obviously, that's -2y. Now, what's going to happen here? You're multiplying -2 times -1/2. Paul? I don't know what's up there, but watch here. -2 times -1/2. What is that? +1. That's my goal. I wanted a 1. Now, -2 times -3. 6. -5/2 times -2/1. What's that going to end up being? +5. 10/2. Is that okay with everybody? Marley, that was a great idea. We got rid of all of our fractions. Good deal. Who knows what we need to do next? Subtract 5. Now we're ready to actually complete the square. Okay, first we have to do that step. So I'm going to figure out what I need to add to both sides to make this a perfect square. That's why we're doing what we're doing, to get that. Because when you write the equation of your parabola, don't you need that squared thing in there? Yeah, that's what makes it a parabola. Okay? So, tell me what we add this time. 9. Now, if you don't understand why it's 9, stop and think. How do we get this number? We take half of this one, right? What's half of 6?
3 times 2.
Squared,
Squared.
9. So we're going to add 9 to both sides. We took half of 6 and squared it. 6 divided by 2 and squared it. What perfect square is this? X plus 3. If you factored that, it would be x plus 3, x plus 3. Over here I have negative 2y plus 4. Alright, now what happens? Now I need to move that 4 back over and divide everything by negative 2. And you can do that in either order, it doesn't matter. I like to move my 4 over first, so that's my personal thing. You can do it however you want. I'm going to move my 4 over so it looks like that. And then I'll divide everything by negative 2, not inside the parentheses. Don't mess with inside. So what does y equal? Negative 1/2 x plus 3 squared plus 2. So where's my vertex? Negative 3, 2. Where's my axis of symmetry? X equals negative 3 in my direction of opening. Down. Robbie?
How'd you get negative 4?
We took this 4 right here and moved it to the other side. I just subtracted over. Negative 5 plus 9 is 4.
I had plus 5, so yeah.
Okay, no, that would need to be minus because you brought it over, right, as a subtraction. Okay? Now, yesterday or someday, one day, I gave you a couple of worksheets. They were stapled together. Yeah, good. On top it said worksheet parabola 2.1. Oh, maybe I didn't staple them together, did I? Did I give them to you individually?
Yeah.
Okay, that's because they don't want to, they're not on the same test. But one of them says worksheet parabola 2.1. Find it? This is actually a homework assignment. It's one of the things you'll turn in this time, this parabola worksheet. But I thought we would get it started together in class. Okay? So, here we go. Number 1A and number 1B are both pretty easy. Do I have volunteers that would come up and maybe try 1A and 1B on the board? And I say they're easy because there's going to be no fractions or anything. It's going to be straightforward problem. You two? All right. No,
They do everything.
They can do one, and you guys can do the other one.
All right, we'll do the other one.
All right. So girls, if you would do A over here, and I need you to use a black marker because the others don't show up. And you guys are going to do B right here. No,
Alright.
why? Because it shows up on the video.
That's a lot of work.
Alright, so if you want to highlight something, you can use this, right? For the regular writing. Alright, now what? Here, I have more black markers. Okay. Now what should the rest of you be doing at this moment in time?
Working on it.
You should be doing these because they are homework problems. You're going to turn this paper in.
That's what I'm really for. Yeah. You have to put it on my playlist. Okay, wasn't expecting that.
You get that from that?
The sixth what?
Okay, now we are
Tell me
using
what else you do.
the strategies that we've been talking about to do problems.
Muscle.
Go ahead to the next one. Find out in just a second.
Direct object program.
Direct object of the pronoun.
Whoa.
Quincy?
Young man.
Oh my god.
We don't start over.
No, you may as well start over, man.
You don't need to.
Put it on your teammate. Senior.
We only accept perfection.
Alright, girls, let me see what you've done.
Young man.
Yep, you're good. Yep.
Wants to see him.
Girls rule, sorry guys.
Okay.
Alright, so those of you who did number 1 already, look up here and compare your answers. Check and see what you did wrong. If you missed it, maybe you got it right. They added 4 to both sides. Hopefully you did too. You took half, that's supposed to be next on there. They took half of 4 and squared it. So that was the 4 that they added to both sides. That looks really good. And now so do the boys. The boys look great now too. So please take a look at these two. Don't just blindly copy them down. Make sure you understand what's going on. Just out of curiosity, how many got this one right?
Yes.
Good. Now if you didn't raise your hand, that means you made a mistake. Did you figure it out? Where you made your mistake? Did anybody get to number 2 yet? You got that one right too?
Still working on that.
Very good. We'll leave that up here for a minute. Let everybody catch up.
You're right.
We'll get a couple more of them done for you.
Who wants to volunteer next?
No, we need new volunteers. Polish your hand up. You go volunteer?
Can we do it on the other board so I can finish writing this down then?
Oh, I can't video that, so just keep writing it down. You should be able to do it without just copying it.
I would call on doing it. I just went there for moral support for him.
That's fair.
Well, usually by the time we've done 4 examples, it's
You'd be surprised with my brain. Just the way it works.
in your attention.
That's me right now.
Okay, so Paul, you got a friend you want to bring up with you? You're gonna fly solo. want to do. Who'll help you? Christian, sure he will.
There you go.
You sure about that?
Now I need a team of girls. I got my boys. I need a team of girls.
Can we do D?
You need a D?
Yep.
Oh,
Don't
good
erase
with
that,
that.
Paul. Paul, don't erase that
that's
yet.
a little tricky. Here, go ahead and do it over
You got the
here.
problem.
Whatever, I can look
Wait,
up
why should we do?
D's a little tricky. See how it looks a little different? You think you can handle it?
There's a negative?
Nah, it's just not that.
You can handle it.
And I only got one instead of two.
Oh, unless you're not already.
Yeah.
Alright. Alright, girls, I need girls.
She's gonna erase y'all work there.
Keep that.
Yeah,
Okay. How about my whole back row back there? Come up together, girls. You are gonna do D, and I'm gonna help you. It's a little bit tricky. I'm gonna let you see if you can figure it out first, okay?
Tell me why.
Alright, we're racing this now, so we don't have to take them.
Oh, yeah, dude.
No.
Oh, no, I did.
Girls, how do we have to do it over here with the videos over here?
She doesn't know.
Now, I'm gonna see what your drawing
Times
is
two first
first,
or put 7 over?
and then I'm gonna.
Do times two, get it up the way.
So you see what's different about a
Joseph,
post
are you done yet, dude?
Huh?
Are you done yet, boy? I mean, Joseph, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. Why do I?
Just on that cash. Who are you?
That's it.
Oh.
You look like my grandpa, boy. Go ahead. Come at the Air Max Cup for 13, please. Go ahead. Say something. Say something one more again.
Boy, good boy. Yeah. Yes, he did.
Do you even eat?
Alright, D is done, guys. If you want to take a look at D, it's a little bit different problem, but it's actually quite
Well, I got
easy.
two dudes. They call me two dudes.
Sometimes we get freaked out when we see something different,
It's half,
and we really don't have to.
Girls.
We'll in a
What
minute.
number is
that right?
That my girl.
Miss Ford?
Yes.
I messed up somewhere.
There's no number instead of adding
I messed up
Okay, now
somewhere.
wait a minute.
I know we messed
Somebody messed
up.
up
I think it's like
something.
right here that we're messing up.
Okay, now, what did you, okay, so we're gonna add to both sides, we're gonna add some. No, we're gonna take half of this,
That's what it was.
so we're gonna add that to both sides. Okay. Now, this should be a square. This is equals
So, 2y minus
I see that view.
minus that. Minus
2.
Divide by 2.
Okay.
One.
No correlation. Where's the work at?
Your work is great.
Yeah, where's your work at?
You guys
You
should
don't need any work on this.
I know, why didn't you guys choose the easy one? Is that
All right, yeah, this is correct. This problem is correct. Now, I want to talk about this. Kids, you know what? We may be here past 3:05 if we don't pay attention. This right here doesn't need to be completed to square on. Because what's missing in the problem?
X value.
An X. And if there's no X, then you don't have to do that grouping. You have an X squared. The fact you haven't added or subtracted anything from it means it's 0. You haven't shifted it left and right. It's only gone 15 units up. Nothing's added or subtracted to the X. So it stays right at 0 and then goes 15 up. Which means its axis of symmetry is X equals 0. There's a negative in front, so it opens down. Nothing new there. We did that before. When you got something that looked like this, kids, did it move sideways? No, you just picked it up 15. That's exactly what's happening there. This one was a little bit more work. They times by 2, moved the 14 over, added 4 to both sides. Why did they add 4? Half of 4 is 2, squared is 4. Collected like terms. Their answer, for those of you in the back that maybe can't read it because it's so tiny, is this. Vertex is at 2, 5. X equals 2 is my axis, and I open, is that a negative in front of there?
No, that's
No.
Okay.
Wait, once we come to the end of the school day, we will do a week, let us pause for prayer. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with you. Blessed are you among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb. Holy Mary, Mother of God,